republic for which it stands, one nation under God, is visible with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. Please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the like button, thumbs up.
To the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
6/19/2020. It is Friday. Thank God, I guess. All right, we got Woodman in. We are early. We are going real early. What a chaotic time in the country right now. Back full swing into the just racial tensions. Everything is deemed, I mean, they're getting rid of Uncle Ben's rice, or renaming it, Aunt Jemima syrup. I don't know what's next. They're actually talking about the word chief. Police chief is racist. So we need to get rid of the term chief. We went through this. I see JT Wild in the room. What is up? Patriot, brother. Randy Robbins, we got some of our mods holding it down. They got the morning shift, and they'll do a good job. So again, if you remember back, the sports went through this in the 90s. I got to remember it as a young teenager or something, but you know, the chanting at like the Atlanta Braves back in the day, the Braves name itself, you got the Cleveland Indians. They didn't like all that. So without further ado, let's get Woodman in here so we can just jump into this. Brother, how you doing this morning?
Everybody, how we doing on Friday? Airborne all the way.
Yes, sir. I'm going to pull up the chats for everybody here so I can get the chat going next to you and your name over there.
All right.
That's up. All right. So, is that one? Yeah, that's one. So I'm going to go 2,
There
3,
you go.
and 4. There we go.
Looks
So good
good.
morning. Good morning, Woodman. Good morning, Patriots. Like I said, we got JT in the house, Randy Robbins, and we'll see some other mods here. And there's tons of Patriots, tons of familiar names. Good morning. Shannon, Vic, Martin Gonzalez, Judy Les, Chad Berry, just tons of Patriots. It's early. Woodman, what are you drinking on over
Yep.
there? Some brown bean?
Well, doing the old brown bean juice through my special Patriot Hour coffee mug.
Nice. As you can see,
I'm wearing a different. Yeah, I'm wearing a different shirt today.
Ooh, we love this shirt here. Look at this, folks. The Where We Go one. Move that beard out of the... There you go. Nice. Hold on, let me pull that up full screen. Now, this is awesome right here. Look at that, folks. Where we go one, we go all. Very nice. Very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Mike, I've got something for you. I don't know if are you a Notre Dame fan?
You know, yeah, I don't bet on them. I don't bet against them. God, country, Notre Dame. Nice. Very nice. What is that?
It's a tree ornament for Christmas time. So
Okay, nice. Awesome, brother. People are saying love the beard. Love the beard.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I think they were talking about you, man.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
So you know Matt Gaetz or Gates, I don't know how you pronounce it, down out of Florida.
Yeah.
He's a younger. He calls upon
Gates.
the ATF to shelve planned restriction of pistol braces on firearms. So I don't know what they're... Let me pull this article up here, Woodman. Let me get your voice back on as well. There we go. Let me make that a little bigger. So there we go. Matt Gaetz calls upon ATF to shelve planned restriction of pistol braces on firearms. Do you know what I'm seeing here? Let me see. The ATF is trying a stealth ban. So the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is reportedly drafting new arbitrary rules that would criminalize firearms owned by hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Americans. And Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is calling for the gun regulation agency to back off its plans to rule stabilizing braces on pistol-style firearms. So Gaetz released a press calling for the ATF to back off of what some are calling a stealth gun control ruling imposed by Fiat. The ATF is to be considered declaring stabilizing arm braces to be illegal devices. Arm braces are devices commonly used on what are known as AR-15 style pistols, weapons that use the platform of the famous rifle while lacking a traditional rifle stock. AR-15 pistols can legally be shorter than what regulated as short-barreled rifle under existing gun laws, and they don't qualify as rifles. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing this here, but I'm not like agreeing with it. But here we go. AR-15, AR pistol, and then an SBR. So Gaetz slammed the rumored ATF plan to declare new restrictions on arm braces, which are designated for use to fire their pistol ARs with the weapon being braced against their elbow. See it right here.
Yep.
So there you go. The ATF is claiming weapons with arm braces are designed to be fired from the shoulder in a manner akin to a rifle, and that the arm brace configuration is merely an attempt to skirt rules on short-barreled rifles. Gaetz questions the agency's logic. But now what we find is what the ATF is making it very difficult for people to have an arm brace. They change standards and changing rules, said the Florida conservative, and in particular frustrated with our government. At the administration executive level, it goes behind their grant of authority in our Constitution and in our federal statutes. Nothing gives anyone at the ATF the ability to constrain the use of arm braces. It's just people going rogue. So I kind of stand with Matt Gaetz on this one, you guys.
Yeah,
it's Gaetz. I know I said Gaetz. I've heard it all. Gaetz.
Yeah. Gaetz, yeah.
I think it's just Gaetz.
Well, we got him on our side anyway, so we're good to go there.
Yeah, he's pretty logical man most of the time.
My question is this, if they're all hell-bent for changing all these laws and so forth, why didn't they do it back when they had democratic power over everything for the last,
Why is Nancy all upset with the statues in the halls of Congress and all around? She's been there 38 years. Why this year? Why right now?
Oh, those pictures being taken down, yeah.
And honestly, Woodman, they're wanting to take down statues and things that I get that. Well, they're going so far back. I mean, why they would need to just get rid of the Democratic Party then? They have a better issue holding on to like blackface Virginia Governor Northam. Like he literally had a blackface on. He's still good. I'm not leaving. Get over it. But they're tearing down statues that are showing of men 200 years ago or whatever. So why not take care of the things that are here now that are literally your racist problem? These people are skirting and they're putting the blame on everything other than themselves. But it's like actually the whole Democratic Party is the one that is they made the KKK to take out black Republican congressmen back in the 1800s. I mean, that's the whole reason they're behind it all. And they use this guise that, well, history changed or the parties changed. You've probably heard that thing. People are like, man, the history of the Democratic Party is really bad. And then there was this, well, they changed. They switched. And I'm like, how do you switch history? Like if you did a bunch of bad stuff and then you maybe got right with God, you asked for forgiveness and you can say, I'm reborn. I get that. But you still have a history. Your history doesn't go off to your neighbor.
Quite true.
So I don't understand the whole switch thing, and I've heard that my whole life. Like, man, it seems like this party here is kind of the party of the bad group here in America for lots of years. They claim to be the party of equality and the party of social justices. But if you go in history, they have fought it every time when it became to the women wanting to drive and women wanting to vote, to the black man. They have done it all against them. And then they say they switched to 1948. And if you look at the thing that they point to say that their parties switched somehow, I still don't even see it, because if you look at that, Woodman, I think it has to do with either women voting or black man, something very important. I think it was a women one, and they basically said they had filibustered. You know what that is, right? When it comes their time to get to the microphone, they talk for 25 hours and nothing would happen. So they agreed not to filibuster that year to the Republican Party. So we'll let your bill come in to let these people have some voting if you something. And for the first time in a couple years, they didn't filibuster, and now there was no Democratic support on the bill for like women to vote. It was all Republican put in, all Republican passed. They just didn't filibuster the damn thing, so therefore they say that they allowed it to hit and go through, and they take credit for that going through because they didn't filibuster, but they didn't vote for it. That's the switch. Unbelievable, man. That still doesn't even make sense.
Well, what gets me is history. History is there written so we can always look back upon what we used to do in the past. You can't wipe out the past. If you do that,
you don't know anymore.
That's ridiculous.
If you hide the past from our youth and take it out of, like, we don't want to talk about that in school because it's too racy, and then therefore you muffle the past, you hide the past. Now people have to make up the past, and if you're going, and then you don't learn from it, and you're going to make the same mistakes.
Right.
I feel like, if you see something wrong, you correct it. You don't try to, some people want to see like something's wrong, so they want to like do what happened to them to you. That's not a good game to play. We call that tit for tat. Right. And some people do play that game. Like they're mad about a situation, so they're, how would you like it if and they always want to put like, I would do this to you.
Right.
And that's one way to handle something, but man, it doesn't really ever lead to anything good. So, I don't know. I don't know what people are wanting, but it's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. And where does it stop?
That's the point there. I don't know, man. Holy cow.
Yeah.
They're not satisfied with anything. Just to get Trump out of office. This is so crazy. If they get Trump out of office, they go back to being their normal. We don't want their normal anymore. They bled us dry, led us astray. Don't you agree, Mike? I mean, holy cow, Batman.
Yeah,
terrible.
They're not. They're getting everything they wanted. It's like these are the headlines now. Like Trump's, down 16 points, and as he should be. The economy's down, the numbers of jobs are at an all-time high. I mean, it's just like, whoa, everything they really wanted for 3.5 years now, they got by what's going on right now. And that couldn't be done any other way. I mean, they had this movement, Woodman, like, this dude's coming out in 2020, rallies. We've been covering the rallies. What a great time. Hundreds of people in the room, just a good vibe, just a really grassroots movement. And they needed to shut that down at all costs. And what better way, it's like right now, like Trump's going on with his rally tomorrow, and people are really sick down there in Tosla. I mean, they're just really, like, all of a sudden where he's having the rally at is the epicenter of this whole damn thing now all of a sudden, and he really shouldn't be doing this. And no, they it's really,
but yet they can have riots.
Yeah.
They can have riots everywhere, destroy property, and not say anything about social distancing or wearing a mask or any of that crap. Change the agenda,
No,
it's like Pelosi says all the time, you got to take advantage of, ill times.
She said that? She said we need to take advantage of ill times?
Well, the word wasn't ill times, but you know what I'm saying.
She said take advantage, though?
Yeah.
Like she messed up?
Yeah, that's stupid, man. Well, she's drunk half the time. You know, I mean, I'm sorry.
Nancy been drinking.
Man, slurs or words. You know, I mean, they ask, you know, I don't.
Well, with man.
Yeah.
So I mean, what about all these cops stepping down, man? Just leaving at an all-time level. Like 80% of the forces, like I thought they said for even like South Bend, thinking about stepping out, stepping down. You know.
Can you blame them? If you have no support from anybody, why even do that?
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. You know, the police and the first responders, they need to be held up high on a pedestal because they do so much work. They put their lives, their actual lives on the line every day.
And I don't want nobody to end up dead. I get it. I don't want nobody to end up dead. So if you're watching, don't take it that way. I'm just saying if things could work out. And I get it. You know, if cops coming up to you is you know, you should, you know, when I get pulled over, I keep my hands at you know, 12 and 2 or you know,
10 and 2.
10 and 2 and just try to not make any stupid movements because the littlest slip up can lead to something these days, or you know, always. But point is, like this dead guy in Atlanta, so he was out, I guess, from, you know, this whole COVID thing. He was one of them that got released, and then was like drinking and went through a drive-through to Wendy's, fell asleep in the drive-through. We know how that not like how that goes and how that can happen. I mean, but cops are always like that. Friday nights out and about, if you're like at the mall, just passed out in your car, they're gonna come up and knock on your car and find out what the hell's going on. It's not very normal, especially to fall asleep in the drive-through, folks. I mean, there's probably somebody behind you that can't get their food now, so of course cops are gonna get called. They're gonna come knock, and he didn't need to end up dead. I'm not saying that, but you look at the situation there.
Well, you know,
over 100 crimes this guy on, I guess, and I'm not saying that makes him a bad man. I'm just saying 100 different. Some of us can go our whole life and not have any encounters with the cop. So when you see somebody has 100, you don't think to be like, well, you know, in wrong place, wrong time. 100 times, he's out there doing something. That's logical.
You have to understand. Look at from a police officer's point of view through their eyeballs. You know, if they don't approach a vehicle or any person or suspect with complete life caution, you know, they could walk up to the car and the guy could just go like, blam, you're dead. Just like that. It happens,
yeah.
So
I know.
You have to.
And then that's what people say, well, that's a job they're willing to take. Well, man. But it's like, so then they also have a gun, and if they feel threatened like that, like they're going to get shot in the face, they're on edge, and they got their hand there too. And then the slightest little movement that they don't like that guy doing, they're going to pull theirs off first, so they get him first. He had no right to shoot him, and that's all that happens. If the person that's being confronted ends up dead, and the cop's alive, they don't care. What, like right now with this one, the guy fell asleep in the drive-thru, was drunk. That was mistake number one. Number two, when they came and knocked on the window, he was drunk and trying to fight, not going. He was resisting. Then number three, he got the taser away and pointed it at the officers. Now, tasers are considered non-lethal, but they are lethal. Several people die a year from the tasers because they're just administered wrong. The cops are trained to shoot those in a specific spot if they can. A normal person that gets it out of the cop's hand, they're not trained in it. So now it is considered a deadly weapon because they'll shoot it in the officer's eye, right between the eyes or something, and that's not places you're supposed to shoot those. So I'm just saying, well, he made like a series of 6 mistakes, and he ended up dead. Yeah. And now, again, this might be... Now, really quickly, they charged that cop with murder or whatever, which we all know isn't going to stand. So I think they're setting up the country again, Woodman. They really quickly down there had this happen. They're taking advantage again. They charged the cop with this crazy, like, murder. So the country's like, oh, good, they got him right away. We don't, you know, because maybe that was what. And now quietly, it's going to take some months, but he's going to go to jail. He's going to get that thrown out. They're going to see the evidence, the body footage. This guy's like fighting him, trying to get his gun, and you know, at what point are you allowed to, you know, shoot? That's
well, not too long ago, there was an individual that actually got a hold of me during his struggle like that. Got a hold of the officer's stun gun, stunned him, took the officer's gun and shot him in the chest.
See?
Now,
So now, where's all the people out on that one? Well, that's unfortunate. That cop should have been a little tougher. Now, if that cop at any point, right before that happened, would have got the gun and shot that guy, it would almost be another situation of like, this is unjust. He shouldn't have got killed. You don't need to kill him. That's all people would say. So, hey, if we just don't need citizens out there committing crimes. We just need them to stop. Look at Chicago. Are they going to police themselves really well? Hell, we're already at a epidemic there. I mean, where is the BLM on that number one issue? Chicago. Deal with it. We got to hit the facts on the head here, folks. I get it. I do not have an issue with BLM and their that, Black Lives Matter. And we need to get white cops to quit killing these black men. But man, I'll tell you what, go to number 1 on your list, because they're going down to like number 8 on the list, which is that. We go over numbers. We know we have more white people dealing with cops on a regular basis because there's more white people in the country. The numbers are staggering because the facts matter. I mean, black people are confronted more by cops. Most of the time, I think it was 92% of the times there's weapons found. You just have to go off the numbers. That's it. And people are like, I don't know about that. Well, that just means you haven't looked at the numbers. It just means you've only been fed what you've heard, which is very little. And the narrative from CNN, Fox News, they're a little better Fox News than any, but they still get it wrong. They still promote kind of the narrative, depending on who you listen to over there. I don't really listen to it anymore. I always do my checking, but me and Woodman, we've turned off our fake news years ago. We do have to tune in and listen, right? Why is that, Woodman? So we know what the hell they're lying about and how to counter.
Well, we have to, you have to understand what both sides are saying all the time. It's very unfortunate because it hurts my eyeballs and my ears, and my brain melts when I listen to these guys who's.
You text me a lot, like, I'm going to bed, my head's a mush, my head's mesh, or whatever.
Yeah. You've heard me complain about that for a couple of years now, like, you and Ben. Yeah, you and Ben make me watch all the nasty crap, and you guys get to watch all the good stuff.
Here, Woodman, you watch this CNN debate. I'm going to be watching, something over the Trump rally. Saturday. So over 1 million people signed up, I guess, to get tickets, and that's and then started lining up, 4 nights early, 3 days and 4 nights.
Is it going to be outside? It is, isn't it? That's what I heard.
I'm not sure. So I got some new. Somebody sent me some of these. Let me show you. That's pretty bright. There we go. The coup to bring down the president. And there's some more playing cards here. All right. I haven't opened them yet, but
you have great papers follow the show. That's great, man. Great.
I'm trying. These are really well sealed. So anyway, these are cool. You got, man. All right, so you can see them there. Royal Flush, Tanya, But there's some. You look like George Soros there.
Oh boy. I wonder who Mini Mike is.
That light is just in the way. There we go.
Yeah.
Billionaire. That's what's her name. Ooh, Schiff.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Some of the players here.
You know it. Oh, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Eric Camellia. Bill Prieststrap. Peter Stroke Me Off.
Ooh, yeah.
Peter Stroganoff.
Struck me.
And then your favorite, Clapper.
Oh, boy, yeah. Yeah,
He's your hero.
yeah, you betcha.
We got a little bit of Pelosi, a little bit of, Robert Mueller and Christopher Steele, a little bit of Biden, a little bit of
Comey in there?
Joe 3330030003.
Yeah.
He went quickly from hero to zero. We got a little bit of McCabe, a little bit of Loretta Lynch, Alexander Chalupia, just a whole bunch. Who did you ask about? Joseph Musford.
Oh, I don't remember now. They're all so funny.
Little James Comey, little Corny.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Jim.
King of Hots. The King of Hots.
Jimmy Crapcorn, and I don't care. A little bit of Rod Rosen.
Yep.
Stein. All right. So anyway,
Fantastic.
pretty cool. Good morning, mumbling Biden.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's running for Senate, remember? And he's going to beat Joe Biden.
He's going to beat himself, he said. That guy, how they just ignore all his little slip-ups, don't they?
They have
Like
to.
they made stuff up on Trump to make him, he's really mentally ill, and he's like really not and sharp and witty, but they want him to be, so they said it. But then for this time, Biden's really mentally ill and can't remember his own name, but they just ignore all that. How convenient.
Well, all he has to have is his wife beside him all the time so she can nudge him, kind of bring him back to reality.
Bring him back down to earth.
Yeah.
Oh man, Woodman, these people, let me tell you, some people's kids, man, some people's kids.
Yeah.
Mayor celebrates
Hey, nice
Black
having-
Lives Matter riots until her home is targeted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spray painted her house. She didn't like that too well.
How come? Why she no likey? What's her issue? What's good for the goose, good for the gander.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, mayor celebrates Black Lives Matter riots until her home is targeted. Now she is crying about terrorism. Liberal hypocrisy in real time. So Olympia, Washington Mayor Cheryl Shelby supported BLM, the rioters, until they came and vandalized her home. She even got down on her knees to grovel and show fealty to the left wing mob as they used violence to gain power in the streets. Last week, reports indicated that two groups converged in downtown Olympia and some became destructive, burning flags and smashing windows and spray painting businesses. The senseless mayhem eventually came to Shelby's neighborhood, and her home was vandalized by these thugs. Shelby did not seem to care very much when ordinary folks were being accosted by the mob, but now that she has learned that she is insulated from the mayhem, she has changed her tune immediately. I'm really trying to process this, Shelby said. It's like domestic terrorism. It's unfair. It hurts when you've given so much to your community, she added. Shelby called for the people to be peaceful and refrain from violence while protesting in the streets after her home was targeted. People gave so little grace for each other, right? We have so little grace for each other right now. We need to have more grace, basically, she was saying, once her home was targeted. So it's pretty traumatic when somebody comes to your home. However, Shelby previously refused to do anything by encourage the BLM mob. She refused to institute a curfew and ginned up the attentions with her own pointed rhetoric. Every day since his murder, our country is shaken, she said. Convulsing between fear, rage, and nausea, we should feel sick. Those of us who hold the most microphones in our community should feel nauseous. This is not the first liberal hypocrite who changed their tune when they had the experience of violence. ESPN writer Chris Martin Palmer behaved in a similar way. In the aftermath of George Floyd's death, which came to due to gross police misconduct, writers have taken advantage of the situation to cause mayhem across the nation. ESPN NBA writer Chris Palmer joined the outrage by pushing people to burn buildings on May 28, 2020. Palmer received penalty of heat on Twitter for his incendiary comments. Comically, he changed his opinion a few days afterwards when rioters started looting near his neighborhood. The NBA writer tweeted, "Tear up your own shit. Don't come to where I live and tear up our neighborhood. We care about our community. If you don't care about yours, I don't give a shit." So, make no mistake about it. Those who were looting were not protesters. Those were criminals who just blended in, hell-bent on stealing property, destruction. When the legit protesters left midday, everything went off the rails. Liberal hypocrisy has soared to new heights with these BLM rioters and stuff, man. You know, the ones that decide to riot. I am all for protesting. Woodman, we went down to Virginia for the there's protesting, there's rallies, there's demonstrations. You know, if you work in a union, you could strike. Those are all for good causes. And I guess if one would, like me and you, we love the Constitution, and a little thing called the Second Amendment. So we went down to support that. Now, the difference would be to go down there with the gun and shoot people that don't agree with you. We didn't do that. Not a single shot was fired, right?
That's quite correct. And there was a lot of, I would say there was at least 200,000 people there. We walked around and seen a whole lot of stuff. But not one shot fired, not even from Barney Fife kind of guy. No.
Like no accidents, no misfires, no. My finger went on the trigger. Yeah. The gun went off on its own because there aren't really accidents with guns. Yeah.
Everybody was so nice and peaceful. If you happen to bump into somebody, you're apologizing, and they do the same to you right away. There was not one issue. The only issue we had were watching snipers on the roof, the military choppers flying overhead, that kind of thing, and the governor taking off to a safe house in a different state. Crazy. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I do. How can one forget?
Yeah.
All right, so let's
it's terrible.
Let's take a.
Well, what about this new Chaz or whatever they call this new little organization, little
Chaz warlords
group that got there? Yeah, they're against guns, as borders, and against criminal act. But that's all they've been doing since they set up that place. They have walking armed guards.
So they're against guns, but they have guns, but they're against them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't get it. What do you mean then? So watch Chaz warlord seen handing out guns to stranger. They're well armed. Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone warlord Raz Simone was seen handing out guns to individuals he didn't know on Sunday night, a legally and ethically questionable decision. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is a self-declared anarchist commune that claims to be sovereign of the United States, contained within 6 blocks of downtown Seattle. On the video, Simone hands at least one man an AR-15 style rifle, with one of his associates stating that the Chaz needs more people who know how to use firearms. So Washington State requires possessors of so-called assault weapons to be above the age of 21, and criminals that transfer these firearms to individuals who are not of the legal age. The ages of the individuals whom Raz seems to have arbitrarily given rifles to are unclear, but the transfer may be illegal under Washington law if they're not 21. Private firearms transfers in Washington State are legal. So the man whom Simone gave a rifle to appeared somewhat unfamiliar with the AR platform, and the SoundCloud rapper showed him how to activate weapons magazine's release. Simone is a Seattle rap artist and an Airbnb landlord. Reports from Chaz increasingly indicate that he set himself up as a de facto warlord of the commune. against the wishes of some leftists who see the rule of violation of Chaz's original anarchist principle. A group of bikers from Trump have already pledged to retake the anarchist commune for the United States and are planning an operation to dismantle the Chaz's border walls on July 4th. This is going to be epic.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was asked if it was correct, and all I could tell the person was, through scuttlebutt, I've heard that. I haven't talked to anybody directly involved with that movement, but I can see it happening, man. These people are tired of little kids, spoiled, rotten kids, snowflakes, I'll call them. And I shouldn't even be saying all this bad stuff, but they're tired of it. Grow up, get a life, man. You know, like quit breaking everybody else's stuff just because you don't have nothing. You know, you know what I mean?
Wow, Woodman, that's pretty harsh, brother.
I know it. Shouldn't even have said it, but come on, it's reality, you know.
No, it is.
Concept.
It's sometimes the truth is best served on a hot plate of, you know, pay the hell of attention, you know. So
yeah,
it's a setup, some same shit, different toilet. Yeah, no, hey, I get it. Let me tell you, this is just, it's unbelievable. But we will be here to report on it all, unfortunately. We have to show you guys what's going on. We got to keep, and if this just keeps allowing to go on and states refuse, I don't know. That's where we talked about, you know, Bush Sr. used the Insurrection Act to qualm the riots in LA in 91 or 92 or 90. I think it was 92, 91, 92 riots. You had Bush Sr. or Jr. use it at a few airports after 9/11. There was some insurrection, some areas of interest. So I don't know what Trump will do. He's already told him, better get control or I'll have to step in. I think he just said that again the other day.
Yep.
All right, where are we at?
We can't allow this to happen.
No,
you know,
no, exactly.
We can't allow this to. It's our country, man. We were founded on God and freedom. Get with the program, people. If you don't like living like that, get out. We're not going to hold you back. If you like, you know, living in a chaotic area, I'm sure there's plenty of places around the world that you go to at any given time. Just don't do it here. This is a peaceful country. Mike and I served.
We're civilized.
Along with Ben and everybody.
Yeah. We're trying to be civilized here. No, we're not. We have all this going on. I'm not saying there's not bad things. Don't get me wrong. But I think the Democratic Party should be disbanded since they were the ones behind it all. You know, they're the ones behind the racial inequality, the KK. Well, we switched history. No, it's you. And by you being around, everyone's reminded. If you want to tear down statues and all that, why stop? Why not just get rid of your own party? That don't make sense. It's like if we fix it and get rid of all this stuff as a Democratic Party, there's our new history behind us is what they're trying to do, right? If we're the ones that tear down all the statues, and it's like, you're kind of the ones that made them. Because
they're the ones that brought they were all
that statue. Yeah, well, those statues of those people were Democratic, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're tearing down their own stuff, their own history, but they should just tear down themselves.
What's easier, Mike? Lying to the public and trying to get along with the norm that they had before. President Trump's not going to go for that.
And this is like what Trump just put. Censorship is modern day book burning. If you don't like a show or a channel, you just turn the channel. What happened to those days, you know? Not today. Now it's people that sit there and they turn onto a channel and they get all up on their chair and they're like, I don't like this. And not only do I not like it, I want to make sure that nobody else gets to see this stuff. That's the difference of today. Like people, you know, we talk about the local school down the road where, you know, there was a Friday night nativity scene around Christmas, and like the one Muslim family in this, you know, Islam, a Muslim that's, you know, in the Islam faith, didn't want to, you know, go to this on a Friday night at 7 p.m. But not only did he not want to go in his own car and drive there to the school at 7 p.m. on a Friday to participate in an event that he didn't want to be in, he wanted to make sure nobody else So that's the difference today.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, yeah, because you can't do that. And it's like, well. And then you go up to Dearborn, Michigan, and they're serving challah food for lunch. Now, haven't you not just brought back in your religious belief into the school system for the lunch program? And are you guys serving Satanist food? Are you serving the, the Jewish kids' food? Well, we got a very small fraction. It doesn't matter. This school here by us was a percentage of Christian, a lot of percentage. And, you had one family able to shut things down for everybody else. You don't get to do that the opposite way, So
I think what
that's
they
all.
complained about was
The hypocrisy is too much, Woodman. It's too much.
I think what they were complaining about was that it was a live nativity scene, live people. So now I think they got it down to where they can still have it, but not with live people involved,
Well,
statues.
still, what I'm saying is,
it's not right.
What's the difference of that? I mean, not on those terms of like the mannequin nativity scene or the live people reenacting it. It's a Friday night after school's out. It's almost like the event, and then to show up to watch the little play that goes on the stage and get into that little gymnasium is all on you to show up, to be there, to drive your car, to park it and go in and watch it. If you don't want to, you definitely don't have to. And this one person wasn't going to go anyway, but then they're like, I'm going to make sure nobody else can either. And made the phone calls and went through all the procedures to get to the federal courts. And, so that takes a special crybaby to do all that. Definitely a special kind of crybaby. Because my whole life, like I said, to sit there and just flip through the cable channels as a kid, like, I hate this show. I want to make sure nobody else watches it. What do I do? So I can pick up the phone, call the cable company, just start, you need to turn this off. I don't like it. Well, just change the channel. No. I want to make sure nobody else sets their eyes on this shit.
Yeah.
It's I don't even get it,
Well, where would it stop? If you give them that, then they want more and more and more and more and more. And then next thing you know, we're a different country.
Oh, they just said Webster's dictionary is redefining the word racism or racist in the book because of a 22-year-old that wrote them and said that this word doesn't justify the feelings that I feel for racism. And it doesn't fit the narrative of what I have in my mind. So Webster's responded back to this 22-year-old black man and said, we are sorry. We are looking into, we're going to change the word. They're like folded like a wet paper towel,
Crazy.
Because of one person, so we're changing words, we're changing our history, we're going to cover it up, whatever, not talk about it no more. And we'll see where they try to drive us. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Hang on for the ride. Yeah, buddy.
We got anything?
Put on the full armor of God, like we always tell you.
Yeah. So did you talked to the Legion? You talked to Lee. What new news did you get then? You said thanks. Because remember our show the other day, and then. So what did you? I
don't know where Wally come up with that information because Wally and Lee talked on a Sunday prior to us seeing him, and Wally was saying, they're not going to do the ride, and they're not going to have a meal, they're not going to have a band. I don't know what they're doing. So I called Lee, the director for the American Legion Riders, and he informed me that, I don't know where Wally got that info at because we talked Sunday, and I told him we were still having a ride, just no sponsorships. They usually have sponsors for the ride. They're not doing that. They're still going to have a band. I'm sure they're going to have, for those who go on a ride, you get a meal ticket. When you come back from the ride, you can have your meal, with that ticket. I guess it's like normal. It's just like a normal functioning ride like they've been doing for 9 years, So, like I say, I don't know where Wally got his information from, but
are they doing? Did Lee say they're still doing food?
He said they were going to do a meal when they come back from the ride.
Okay, and then they're also having the band. So that day, Saturday, is still according to the guy, not the commander of the Legion, but the guy in charge of this event part anyway, they're still doing, and we know from the commander, they're still doing, oh yeah, we're still doing our flag retirement. So we know the flag retirement's going on, which is the main thing, and that doesn't take up a lot of time. I'm hoping it takes up every bit of 20 to 30 minutes, but it typically doesn't. So we have the flag retirement still going on, then we have the Legion ride, and then we have the food, and then we have, when they get back, you know, the food and the band kicks off on Saturday. So it looks like the whole normal event is going on, other than the thing that we don't have sponsors. Okay. And they could probably run around, and I get that because a lot of these jobs and companies, and you know, we're the RV headquarters of the you know, the world. Like the Elkhart area is considered the, you know, but a lot of these companies were out and down over the last several months, so not too many are feeling great about sponsoring and giving much monies away that they don't have or haven't made yet, right, or whatever.
Well, what they use a sponsorship for is normally when they come back from a ride, they have tables after tables full of prizes. That comes from sponsorship. But
yeah,
so they're not going to have it this year, unfortunately. But Mike and I were talking when we done that Wi-Fi test that no matter what happens, if we're going to put something on just to make sure it goes off good, we would do that. But there's no need now. It's going to be a normal.
We'll do all. Like normal, we'll give our all for Friday evening and Friday night, and Saturday we're there to help support everything else going on. All of our people from the Patriot Hour that are there will be involved in everything Saturday. I plan on being in the ride with, you know, the Jeep. I know you're possibly riding. I mean, so some of our people from the channel are coming to ride, so it's gonna be great. I'm all in. Yeah, if they weren't doing anything, we were going to try to fill that void, but it looks like there's back on. So that's interesting. I don't know what the lack of communication was there. Maybe you should call old Wally today and just say, hey, man, what's going on? You said this. I got Mike as my witness, and Randy was there. So three of us heard what was coming, and then you talked to him. He's like, no. And
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna start a wave. I'll just leave it like it is. You know,
there you go.
It got corrected, so we're good to go. You know,
it's all good. It's all good. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. All right, well, let's shut this one down. We're just at about an hour, Woodman. I got a few things going on today. I'm sure you do as well. It's supposed to be a hot one here in the Midwest, about 90. So I hope everyone stays cool if you're in the area. Brother, maybe we'll, it's Friday. I don't know, maybe we'll do another one later this afternoon. I don't know what you got going on, but if not, look for tomorrow. I will get a video out at some point today, folks, just a normal video, some I'm working on already. Other than that, I'm going to go jump on a few
Your videos are fantastic, Michael. I'm going to tell you that right to your face. They're fantastic. You definitely have a talent, and God bless you for that. And I'm sure everybody that watches this channel has the same opinion I do. You know,
thank you guys. I do it for you guys. I do it for the Patriots. Just trying to get something I come across, and you know, sometimes it's the way I see it. Sometimes it's nothing but facts and numbers for you, but sometimes it's just a little bit of opinion. But we all have them. And I'll tell you, it's getting crazy. So we got plenty to report on, plenty to bring you. I don't want you guys to miss anything. All right, brother. We're gonna jump this one out. I will see you soon. Airborne and peace. Be with all Patriots. Peace. Pray. Patriots pray.
Full armor of God, like we always say. We need God. Peace.
That's right.
Treat everybody the way you'd want to be treated, and there won't be a single problem unless you want to beat yourself up. I don't care. You know?
You'll be kicking your own ass. All right, folks. You guys have a great Friday. We'll see you back here. Look for more shows throughout the day. Maybe we'll pull off another live one early this evening. I don't know. It's Friday. Country's opening back up a little bit. Now they're trying to bring her back down. We'll see where we end. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you.